What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Hey, I'm just letting y'all know early. Today is going to be speculation filled. I'm letting the videos fly today. Expect at least 3 to 4 videos today on YouTube, 2 to 3 videos on Patreon. I'm not playing. This has been building up forever. And it has me thinking to the point that Marc has been setting this whole play up from the moment he got there. He's been trying to get underneath everyone's skin. I said this initially. At first, I called it intellectual bullying because he was telling everybody things about themselves that they knew they couldn't say in return because A, he's new, and B, he's the new hire and he's the golden goose in Joe's eyes at the moment. He's been setting it up from the jump. He already got under Melissa's skin, to the point where we keep blaming it on Flip, but what if these issues and grievances that she had with Flip got exacerbated once her ex came on the show? And then you already have the flat earth theory that was quote unquote debunked, and whenever Marc blew up at Ish, you have that set in stone already. Ice was told from the beginning, not Ice himself, but Marc was told about Ice from the beginning by Joe, which is why you never ever see Marc shoot at Ice. He shoots at everyone else except Ice and Parks. And you already know how I feel about Ice and Parks. But he's been setting it in stone for everybody else up there. And y'all think I'm joking because I said it like 4 videos ago. Marc and Mona are going to have Plex. Y'all like, no, they don't. They're from Philly. They're never going to have Plex. Why are you putting this in the air? I'm not putting anything in the air. It's already been set in place. It's already been set in stone. Whenever Marc segues into questions that he asks Mona, pay attention to the tone that he asks Mona and pay attention to how he belittles her when he's asking the question. These are things that I'm noticing early on. And it's going to get exacerbated because Flip, all eyes and the microscope is on Flip right now because Flip is the one that has an issue with Joe. And y'all already know how I feel about that. I might even drop that episode on YouTube. I'm that hype about this situation. Been calling this shit for months. Peep the signs. What does Marc gain by getting everybody fired? He's number one. I can't do what I need to do on this network if his best friends are working for him. I don't have to worry about Ice and Parks because they are already good at playing in the background. They don't ever try to usurp the master. And Marc's not trying to quote unquote usurp the master. But guys, let's be clear. Even in today's episode, one thing that nobody is speaking on yet, Marc was the A mic. And then Flip came in late and Marc exacerbated that situation. And let's speak on that. The moment Flip came in there, matter of fact, before Flip even stepped in the damn room, Marc was talking shit about Flip. He was already trying to get underneath Flip's skin. And Flip was handling everything accordingly. And it makes me feel bad. And I guess I'm kind of animated because Flip was like, Marc, your wife came up to hug me and I felt disrespectful because I was giving her a handshake as opposed to returning the hug. But the reason I didn't give her a hug in the first place is because I don't hug my guys' wives. And he was apologizing to Marc, and he wanted to let it be known to the audience. And you still want to come with that bullshit to get underneath his skin. And it has nothing to do with Marc and Flip. Guys, let me be clear. Marc and Flip don't have real beef. They don't have real beef at all. Marc is playing the cards that Joe would play. There's a reason I keep saying that Marc is given information by Joe, and he's executing on the information given by Joe. We're seeing it happen in real time. He's calling everybody's weaknesses out. He's calling about things that we speak about in the community, and he's getting close to the people in the community. Why is that? Who does that benefit? Marc doesn't have to talk to a single one of us. He's gaining information to use against his co-host. You see what's happening? He made a whole stick about what happened with him and Imani on his episode underneath the Joe Budden Network. What makes you think that he's not going to do everything he can to get rid of you niggas? And then it's funny that Mona is the one that's calling in the question, why y'all niggas is up here. That's a whole video on itself, how much she's calling in the question, what it is y'all bring to the table, or how much of it is y'all just having a friendship with this nigga Joe. Because that album conversation that happened on today's Patreon, which I thought was dope, because these niggas hit it on the head, it was an eye-opener for Mona. Like, oh shit, y'all are really, really friends. Joe wasn't in the room, and the question was asked about albums that could describe Joe. The first album Park said was It's Dark as Hell is Hot. DMX's first album. The first album that Imani said was one of Eminem's first albums. As soon as Joe came in here, 20 minutes after the fact, they'd been talked about this. Joe came in the room 20 minutes later. The first two albums he said was It's Dark and Hell is Hot by DMX and the Slim Shady LP by Eminem. Back to back. That was an eye-opener for Mona. Like, fuck, these niggas is really close. Because she's trying to get to the bottom of why does he hold y'all in such high esteem and high regard? Because she was trying to call into question before Joe entered the room. She was like, y'all niggas don't know this nigga at all. But now everything's falling into place for her. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Marc has been setting this up from the jump. And remember the last time I made, it might as well be seen as a premonition at this point. But remember the last time I made a prediction on Marc? Talking about how he's going to use his bullying against everybody and eventually people are going to want to box him. They're going to want to fight him. It's happened multiple times already. Imani is smart because he realized Joe Budden has saved my life. He's changed my life. Shout out to him and his successful Patreon and his successful events. Hopefully he starts to see it and there's something that's clicking underneath him. Hopefully his battery is behind him. Keep going, nigga, because I remember when I hyped you up months ago because you didn't look like you were going to do any of this. And look at you now. Look at you. But anyway, Imani and Marc got into it, but Imani was smart. I can't fuck this up. So we made cool. We made peace. Everybody makes peace with Marc. This is not the first time that Marc has done things that Flip does, except Flip is they're always going to expound upon Flip. You'll never see them expound upon Marc, but they do the same shit. Remember last time? Flip is known as the skit nigga. You got to stop doing skits. They made him do a 180, and then Marc came on here, did the Marc and Ian show, and was doing skits all up and down this motherfucker. The wrestling shit was a skit. But, oh no, we're never going to look at Marc in that light. So Flip is already seeing the bullshit that's happening with Marc, but Flip's real beef is with Joe. And like I said, I'm actually going to drop that episode on YouTube. That got me animated, man. This shit is ridiculous because this shit has been building up for months. But there's only one common denominator. It's funny, because he's smart, he's able to use everybody's weaknesses against him. He's able to emphasize this weakness so you don't see the cunning move that I'm pulling behind the scenes of this weakness. But this is the second time it's happened. What would have been the point, because if this was Joe's doing, what would have been the point of him getting rid of Melissa just to backdoor and get rid of Flip too? And since people keep telling me, oh, Joe can do whatever he wants, he can fire whoever he wants. Well, why hasn't he yet? Why hasn't he? But y'all stay tuned for my Flip and Joe video. That one's going to do the numbers because I'm going to explain and break down a lot of shit. And it's not going to have Joe in a favorable light. I'm telling you. But, hey, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. You already know what we're doing. We're going to turn up. I'm telling y'all.